Hi, my name is Emma, and today I'm going to tell you the real story of my friend Alex. It's a story about hitting rock bottom, about betrayal so deep it almost destroyed him, and about the one desperate move that changed everything. Buckle up, because this one's raw. Alex was always the driven one. Smart, ambitious, maybe a little naive about how cutthroat the world could be. He landed his dream job at Nexitech, a huge, shiny tech corporation, right out of grad school. He worshipped his boss, David Chun. David was charming, brilliant, seemed to genuinely take Alex under his wing. Alex worked insane hours, fueled by ambition and genuine admiration for David. He saw David as a mentor, almost a father figure in the ruthless corporate jungle. Alex trusted him implicitly. Then there was Sarah Vance. She worked in a parallel department, always perfectly coiffed, with a smile that never quite reached her eyes. She was ambitious too, but hers was a cold, calculating ambition. She saw Alex's talent and David's favoritism as threats. Alex, being Alex, tried to be friendly, oblivious to the knives being sharpened behind his back. Things started getting weird. Important emails Alex sent to David would mysteriously go unanswered. Crucial project updates he was sure he'd shared would be missing when deadlines loomed. Alex blamed himself, thinking he was dropping the ball. He doubled down, working later, pushing harder, the stress etching lines onto his face. David would pat him on the back, say things like, "Hang in there, kid. We all go through rough patches. Prove yourself." Meanwhile, Sarah was maneuvering. She started cozying up to David, subtly undermining Alex in meetings with vague comments like, "I'm sure Alex meant well with that approach, but perhaps a more experienced hand." David never defended him. Alex started feeling isolated. Paranoia crept in. Was he imagining things? The hammer blow came on a Tuesday. Alex was called into David's office. HR was there. David looked grave, almost sorrowful. "Alex," he sighed, "this is incredibly difficult. We've received serious concerns. Project delays attributed to you, confidential data found on an unsecured drive linked to your login, even reports of inappropriate comments." Alex felt the blood drain from his face.
What?
"David, that's insane. I would never." David held up a hand. "The evidence is substantial, Alex. HR has reviewed it. Given the severity, we have to let you go. Effective immediately." Security escorted him out. Alex stood on the sidewalk, clutching a cardboard box with his pathetic desk plant and a framed photo of his family, feeling like the world had dissolved beneath his feet.
Betrayed.
By the man he idolized. Job hunting was a nightmare. Months bled into a year. Rejection after rejection. His savings evaporated. His girlfriend, unable to handle the constant gloom and financial strain, left. Friends drifted away, busy with their own lives. The whispers started. Maybe he had messed up at Nexitech? Maybe David was right? The isolation was crushing. The constant, gnawing fear of failure, of being worthless, became his only companions. One rainy Thursday, staring at the peeling paint on his tiny apartment ceiling, the thought crystallized. It wasn't dramatic, just cold and clear. Asterisk, it would be easier to stop. To just end it. Asterisk, the weight of the betrayal, the joblessness, the loneliness, the feeling that everyone he trusted had lied or abandoned him. It felt unbearable. He wrote a note. Just scribbles, really. Apologies. Then he sat on the edge of his bed, utterly empty, staring at the bottle of pills in his hand. But something stopped him. Maybe it was a memory of his mom's laugh. Maybe it was pure, stupid stubbornness. He didn't take the pills. He crumpled the note and threw it across the room. He cried, harder than he ever had, great heaving sobs of despair and rage. And in that rage, a tiny spark ignited. A spark of defiance. Asterisk, they did this. David. Sarah. They ruined me. And they're getting away with it. Asterisk, that spark led him down a dark path, but one that saved him. Alex remembered something. Months before he was fired, during a period when things felt off, he'd had a paranoid impulse. He bought a tiny, high-quality voice recorder. Just a feeling. He'd started carrying it, turning it on before crucial meetings with David or Sarah, slipping it into his pocket. He'd forgotten about it completely in the fog of his dismissal and depression. Now, he tore through his old belongings. Buried in a box of cables and chargers, he found it. The battery was dead, but he charged it with trembling hands. Would it still work? Had he recorded anything useful, it worked. And it contained gold. He listened, his heart pounding like a drum. There it was. Conversations with David where David subtly steered him towards bad decisions, then later in other recordings, blamed Alex for the outcomes. A meeting where David and Sarah openly discussed setting Alex up to take the fall for a project delay Sarah herself had caused by withholding information. David's voice, cold and calculating. Alex is loyal. He trusts me. He won't see it coming. When it blows up, we point to his inexperience. HR already has the planted leak evidence ready. Sarah's chilling laugh. Perfect. Clears the path nicely. They even joked about how naive he was. The betrayal wasn't just professional. It was deeply, viciously personal. Alex felt physically sick. But alongside the nausea was a white-hot fury. They hadn't just cost him his job, they'd nearly cost him his life. He knew going public himself would be suicide. They'd discredit him, call him bitter, crazy. He needed anonymity, leverage. He spent days meticulously extracting the clearest, most damning audio clips. He created an anonymous email account using public Wi-Fi. He researched the personal emails of Nexiteca's board chair and the head of their internal ethics committee. He compiled the audio files into a zip folder. His message was simple, brutal, and unsigned. Attached are recordings proving systematic fraud, blame-shifting, and deliberate character assassination orchestrated by David Chun and Sarah Vance against Alex Reynolds, leading to his wrongful termination. This is not an isolated incident. Investigate Project Chimera delays, the Q3 financial anomaly, and the circumstances surrounding Maria Fernandez's sudden resignation last year. The rock goes deeper.
He hit send.
And waited. The silence was agonizing. Had it worked? Had they traced it? Was he about to be sued into oblivion? A week later, the news broke. Not a whisper, but an explosion. Nexitech rocked by secret recordings, execs suspended amid fraud allegations. The article detailed the explosive contents of the anonymous leak. David and Sarah were placed on immediate administrative leave. The SEC launched an investigation. Maria Fernandez, the woman who'd resigned, gave an interview confirming a similar pattern of sabotage. Alex watched it all unfold from his dingy apartment, a strange mix of vindication, numbness, and lingering fear. He didn't feel triumphant. He felt exhausted.
Scarred.
But he also felt something else. A flicker of the person he used to be. The weight of despair had lifted, replaced by the shaky ground of uncertainty, but it was different ground. The resolution wasn't instant fairy tale stuff. He didn't get his old job back. He didn't want it. The company offered a significant, confidential settlement, essentially hush money mixed with genuine damages. He took it. It bought him time and therapy. Lots of therapy. Slowly, piece by painful piece, he rebuilt. He used some settlement money to retrain in a different tech field, one less prone to the viper pit he'd escaped. He reconnected cautiously with old friends who reached out, horrified by the news and realizing how badly they'd misjudged his situation.
Me?
I was there, trying to be a steady presence, though I'd been too wrapped up in my own stuff to see how deep his pain had gone. I carry guilt for that. He's working again now for a smaller, ethical firm. He's quieter, more guarded. The naive trust is gone, replaced by a hard-won wariness. But he laughs sometimes, a real laugh. He's dating someone new, taking it slow. The darkness, the urge that almost ended everything, it's receded like a terrible tide going out, leaving wreckage but also solid land. He never revealed he was the source of the leak. To the world, he remains Alex Reynolds, the wrongfully terminated employee vindicated by an anonymous whistleblower. Only I know the whole truth.
He did it to survive.
He did it because the betrayal was so absolute, so life-crushing, that the only way forward was to burn it all down from the shadows. David and Sarah? Fired in disgrace, facing lawsuits. Their careers are ashes. Karma, I guess, served ice cold by a tiny recorder and a broken man who found a shred of fight when he had nothing left to lose. Alex's story is proof that sometimes the deepest darkness comes just before the dawn, even if you have to claw your way towards it with bloody hands. He almost gave up. Thank God he pressed record instead.